America. Well, the policing minister, Philp, has urged security guards and members of the public to help tackle the shoplifting epidemic we're all seeing by making citizens arrests when they see thieves stealing from shops. It comes as footage has been shared online showing the moment a gang of would-be thieves, well, they were actually thieves, they'd already got out of the shop, were thwarted by passers-by who managed to restrain the culprits until police arrived at the scene, chasing them into the car park of the supermarket, grabbing them out of the car that they were hoping to get away in. Well, joining me is Parm Sandhu. She's a former Metropolitan Police Chief Superintendent. Good morning to you. Oh, I've done another good morning. That's another tenner in the good morning jar. Good afternoon to you, Parm Sandhu. I tell you what, our charity's going to make a lot of money this week. Good afternoon to you, Parm.
Good afternoon, Julia.
Thanks for joining us. I have to say, I saw this footage. Part of me was thinking, oh, good on you. One of the things we found extraordinary, isn't it, is the fact that people are able to just shoplift. I mean, just get away with it. No issue whatsoever. In my local high street, I've been raising this issue on air for a year or two. The shop managers, whether it's just, a husband and wife, a little card shop or a major, national chemist, been saying to me, the police won't come. People come in, there's organised shoplifters, they're irregulars, they turn up, they grab stuff, they wave to the security guard. The security guards are worried that they're going to be prosecuted if they try and stop them, if they close the doors to keep them in, they trash the shop, they call the police, they've got their identity, they've got pictures of them, CCTV, they know who they are, and the police say, oh, sorry, we can't come. Now we're told by the policing minister, we should be not just security guards tackling them, but even you're an ex-police officer. I've never had that training, that I should be tackling a shoplifter. Do you think that's a good idea?
I think that when you look at the figures, it's absolutely shocking. There's something like almost 34,000 offences of shoplifting over the last year, which has steadily increased. Now, we're not talking about somebody who's stealing a loaf of bread or a lump of cheese or something. We are talking about organised crime now, where people are, as shown in your clip, loading up their cars and then they're going back again and again and they're going for high value items, such as perfume, such as, I don't know, washing tablets and things like that. So they're going for the most expensive items and alcohol, obviously. So this is now become an organised crime gang type activity. Now, it's all very well saying members of the public should intervene and act, but when that member of the public gets hurt, then who's going to be there for them? Who's going to help them? And also, if they hurt the suspects, if they hurt the shoplifter, they themselves could be arrested and they themselves could end up in court.
And we have seen again and again that the have-a-go heroes do get investigated, do get arrested. Often when there's a public outcry, then the police realise the error of their ways and they drop charges. But it's very, very distressing for the people this happens to. But this is the thing. Even the security guards say they don't want to tackle. They're not even sure if their bosses, the people paying their wages are going to act. They're often on very low incomes, so, minimum wage, and they're going to risk getting hurt. They don't know if someone's on drugs or got a knife, and they're going to risk getting hurt. They're paid by the day. They're not going to risk that. No one's going to be thanking them if there's an incident and blood all over the floor of the shop, and so they just go hands up. But as you say, I mean, you mentioned the figure, the tens of thousands. It's not. It's much, much bigger than that. Those are the ones we know about. Most shopkeepers I've spoken to say, and we've seen this in poll after poll, they don't even bother calling the police anymore. There's no point. They don't turn up if it's less than 250 quid's worth. 250 quid, be it what, £249.99's worth of goods being stolen from their shop, is basically the difference between profit and loss.
My advice to any member of the public is to be careful. Yeah, OK, intervene. If you see some violence and you see somebody beaten or being hurt, intervene. But if this is a shoplifting, you do not know what those people are carrying. You don't know if they've got a knife. You don't know if they've got a needle that can really harm you. So personally, having seen it, having been at these incidents, I would say, please be careful and look after your own safety first.
Is it irresponsible of the policing minister, Philp, to say, yeah, you should have a go? Is that irresponsible of him?
I think that if you see some sort of violence being enacted in front of you, yes, you should get involved or call for help.
Stop filming it on your mobile phone. Get involved.
But the clip that you've shown is slightly misleading in that the people who intervened were actually training to be security guards. So they had handcuffs. They were able to restrain those men.
And they're big lads. There's people who haven't seen that video, we're playing it out for TV, for the radio listeners, you won't be able to see it, but they're big lads. You wouldn't mess with them.
And they then had to restrain these shoplifters for about half an hour before police arrived. If you're a normal member of the public and you haven't got handcuffs and you're sitting on somebody in the street or doing something, if they get hurt, you are going to get prosecuted. So my advice would be careful and look after your own safety first, because as you say, most of the shops have got CCTV, they have got cameras, and these people can be identified at a later date.
Absolutely. Good advice there, Parm. Sandhu. Very much appreciate that. She's a former Chief Superintendent at the Metropolitan Police.